Good morning, Las Vegas. Here I am, Mr. Rise. No, I'm not Mr. Rise. I'm Mr. Shine. But I want to introduce you to our new Miss Rise. Here she is, Michelle Kubiak. Welcome. Welcome. We're going to talk more about her later on today and what she really does. She is one of our sponsors, too, by the way. And don't forget, you can do that. You can sponsor this show or any of the other many shows on Social Media Shows Network. So, contact us for that. So anyway, good morning. You're feeling great?
Yes.
You're looking great.
Yes.
This is our brand new. This lady, she's going to break in really happily today. I can see that right now. And like I said, we're going to feature later on today. So anyway, what we normally do, folks, is because it's kind of interesting here in Las Vegas today with the weather. We've got some cloudy, rainy going on here, and it's kind of good to feel that, but it's something we're not totally always used to. But we're going to guess right away. Let's guess the temperature outside. And, well, I'll let you go first, see that you're new, because maybe there'll be some luck rubbing off on you that you will guess it right. But,
oh, well, I'm guessing 54.
okay, and I'm going to go 50. So let's see. Oh, we have somebody over here that can tell us. What is our exact temperature there, sir?
Let me see, because it disappeared from my phone.
Those darn phones. Those darn phones.
Yeah. Weather Las Vegas. Okay. It's 51.
51.
Oh, mine says 48.
Oh, so okay. I said 50. Yes. So anyway, that's
you're closest.
So I guess I won.
Yeah.
I don't know. How did I do that twice in a row? Uh-oh, Maria's out there. She's getting a little upset with that because I won again. Anyway, next time is yours. But it's so good to be here today, though. We really want to tell you that there's so many exciting things going on here in Las Vegas, and we really want to bring that to you. We bring it to you weekly on this program, hopefully in a joyous, kind of fun manner, that we can talk about some of the events in the community and what's going on there. So anyway, we wanted to just say that if it wasn't for you and our sponsors that we have, and we're going to probably show who some of our major sponsors are, or all of our sponsors are, we thank you so much for helping us bring about a program like this today. And Michelle is one of our newest sponsors, and we appreciate it. And we got a special segment coming on here today featuring Michelle, who's going to be featured every time we do this program every week, and along with her being our new co-host. So anyway, that's a little bit about yourself. Let's hear. You're a Las Vegan, and you've been here for a while.
Right.
I mean, let's just hear a little more about your personal self and why do you love Las Vegas?
I love Las Vegas because there's so many things to do. I'm from California. I'm from a very small town called Napomo. When I moved away from Napomo in '94, there wasn't street lights. There was no fast food restaurants, and that's changed now. So coming to Las Vegas at first was culture shock because I'm from a small town. And so it took me a while to get acclimated and used to it. And now it's like there's always something to do here, you know.
I agree with you there. Yeah. You feel like a local now. I mean, you've been here a long time.
Right.
When you go out on the town, so to speak, what are some of the things that you like to do? I mean, socially, in fact, you just told me you went to a concert.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a moment. That's a great story. I think you should talk about that. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Over the weekend, I went to 2 concerts. I went to Brandon Lake at our church. Was one of the Grammy winners for Christian musicians. That was on Friday, and then we went to Fleetwood Mac on Saturday, and I was sharing with Patrick, like, what an amazing experience. You know, we were pretty close and got to see her up close and personal. However, I've never seen a musician so grateful for her audience. She a few times she went to the audience and said, thank you for being here. Without you, I wouldn't be living my passion. And she's 75 years old and was there with a broken foot. She says, you're my first crowd that I'm going to tell this to, and then it'll get around the world However, on her way to the concert, she says, I think I need to go to the doctor. My foot is hurting. And so she went in and they told her she had a broken foot.
Oh, she didn't know it.
No.
Oh.
And so she said, so I'm not wearing my regular platform shoes that I'm wearing. And so she like twirled around and, you know, showed her boots that she was wearing. It was really nice, but amazing music. The best concert I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot. So if you ever get a chance to see Stevie Nicks, definitely get out there and see her.
And that's just it, folks. Las Vegas has that opportunities. I mean, there's a lot of musicians here. The Strip of Las Vegas is always having some kind of top-notch entertainment show going on, and as locals, we like to go there once in a while too to see shows like that. We don't necessarily live on the Strip. I know we don't live there, but when it comes to extravagant shows and some of the meals and some of the events that go on down there, amazing. And let me kind of go into another event that's kind of was big this weekend was the NCAA March Madness. This city, Las Vegas, was blessed to have March Madness here and have the Final Four. And to have that here in this community, bringing in, we have people from all over the United States who are here representing their team with their families, with all of the people who just support basketball here in Las Vegas. So that was quite an event for that. Yeah. So that makes us very happy too. But you know, I am like Michelle said, I also like to go to various concerts, and I do the concerts once in a while. I'm one of those downtown Freedom Street,
Fremont Street,
yeah. Yes. And I recently saw some of them. I'm a kind of older guy, kind of cool. I recently saw groups like the Guess Who, the Grassroots, who are coming back. One of our favorite musicians, who was on our show, by the way, on one of our shows, who's there quite often, is Zowie Bowie. He's there a lot these days, performing with Jen, who, by the way, Jen, happy birthday to you today. Jen, the person who performs with him on stage, it's her birthday today, so happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, celebration of the month of birthdays. Also, I wanted to say that we here at Social Media Shows really appreciate the feedback that you give us as viewers. We like to know, what is it that we can help bring out to you on this show, especially maybe some events. This show also features many times people in the community who come on and talk about maybe an event. And that's one thing that you can contact us about and learn more about coming on the show and talking about your event. And we sure would love it if you were a sponsor regarding that. So please follow through, check on Social Media Shows Network, and we can follow through with you on getting back with you on bringing you on this show at this time and letting you kind of talk a little bit more about what you're doing in the community, because that's what this is all about. We rise and shine to the occasion of featuring what's going on here in Las Vegas. Is there anything fun you want to talk about here? I mean, you talk about the concerts, but you're I know that you're quite involved because of your job. But when you go out socially, what are some of the fun things you like to do in Las Vegas? I mean, concerts, of course. But what do you see that's kind of some of the fun things to do that we do here in this community that maybe people don't realize you can do, and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the Strip either. I mean, yeah.
Right, yes. I'm big into nature, so I love going hiking. Just last week, we went to Valley of Fire, which is only 41 minutes away from Las Vegas. And I was sharing with my fiance, I was like, okay, so I waited so long to go to Valley of Fire because I thought it was so far from Vegas, but in 41 minutes we were there. So I'm a hiker. I love to go hiking, so that is where I like to spend time when I'm off. And there's a lot of great hikes here in Las Vegas, as well as you can go kayaking. You can hike, go to dinner at a fancy restaurant on the Strip, and then go to a show all in one day in Las Vegas. So it's not just going to gamble and drink and so forth. Plus, I don't drink, so that
There you
it's
go.
nature or bowling. There's movies.
Oh, yes. It's interesting you just said that. I had a friend of mine, and we know him, Mr. Frank Hermans, who comes here and does a show every year from Green Bay, Wisconsin. But what he likes to do is he goes out there with his wife, and they go to the ghost towns.
Mm-hmm.
They find those ghost towns out there that are hardly anything left of some of them. And that's the kind of fun thing that you can find in the state of Nevada. So there's so many things, like you say, outside or even within the city range when it comes to hiking.
Right.
Red Rocks is beautiful. We have some of the best beautiful parks in the nation right here in Las Vegas. But going throughout the state, between here and Reno, there's a lot of things to see north of us. So
Right, and even in Henderson, there's some good hikes. There's the tunnels. If you haven't been, it's not a big. If you're not a huge hiker, you can go out into the tunnels. There's hot springs also a little bit further south than the tunnels. So, and it's about a 7-mile hike, and you can go up to the hot springs and soak in the hot springs, get to the river, and Yeah.
See. Desert, people think desert. No,
Yeah.
in the desert, there's an oasis around us here, and that really is why so many people do want to come and visit this area. And some of us, like you and I, we end up wanting to live here because we know the quality of life here is beautiful, and there's so many things going on here. So, anyway, thank you. We're getting to know you.
Yes.
She's our new co-host. We're getting to know this lady, so we appreciate that. Thank you so much. Also, I wanted to say that one of the things that also is important, or I should say is fun about Las Vegas, is that since I've been here, I've met a lot of good quality people that care about this community. And for me, that's a lot of fun getting out there. I'm real social that way. And I've met some people who have been warm, welcoming to me in the community. And that's been one of the reasons that I really I'm giving back too in this community, just so like you also do, giving back in various ways. So we love our Las Vegas, and we love what we're doing here, and we love to have you, once again, folks, if you're interested in being a sponsor on this show, we appreciate it, and we'd love to bring you on, and just contact the Social Media Shows Network and let us know that you want to talk about maybe a subject that you're involved in here in the community, or your business, or something that you really take to heart about what you're doing here in our community. So please do that. Contact us. Maria Perusa, who is the executive director. And some of you might be saying, where is Maria? Well, Maria's there. She's over there. She's on the other side of the camera now. And she's running this great show among many, I think, 8 different shows she has. And she's bringing more on all the time. So she is the executive producer, and she's really put together a myriad of different subject shows that you can tune into each and every week right here, folks. But once again, each show also has its own specialty. And if you want to be a sponsor on one of those shows, you can do that, because a subject that might be related to that show, like, for instance, coming up here later on, is going to be Nicole Vegas and Vegas Views. That's a great show featuring some of our local filmmakers and artists and things like that in the community. So if you find something that we have produced here on this network, please get a hold of Maria, and we'll be happy to bring you on and say, hey, here's your time. We want you to shine. So very good, very good. Anyway, I'd like to tell you that we have some very interesting banter coming on here later on regarding some of the events coming here today. We'll talk about that. And also, we're going to feature this lovely professional lady, and she does in our community, that brings quality of life to our community. Anyway, is there anything else we need to talk about right now before we go on a break? I don't know what to think. Is there? What do you think back there?
News.
News! Oh, okay, we are going to go to the news. I was going to maybe wait till next segment to do that. But some of the news that I guess some of this news, just a little bit about NCAA, but let me bring up something kind of interesting that I was doing some research on it. It's news. It's not necessarily right to fact local news, but it's what's going on out there in our culture. And I read this today in a local news article, and it's about because the competition going on between different organizations and businesses, and you in the real market, that people are starting to see that there's good workers out there, and they're trying to get them, or maybe I say steal them from other businesses. And there was an article here today. Actually, this is quite interesting. They took this. It was a competitive analysis, and they took it and they said, "Here's how you correctly go on social media without being what they call a stalker or breaking the law, and check out what the competition is doing, because maybe there's something out there that a competition is doing that can make you a better person, make your better business that somebody else is doing." And
flattery, because maybe if you're going to take ideas from another organization, you're flattering them by doing that. But when you look at social media accounts, people look at, they're looking at their websites, they're looking at what makes that other customer happy with that customer.
Maybe there's something you may be missing as a business that's making that business flourish because it's customers. Those are some of the things that you can learn by going on social media and learning about those businesses. You can also, I see that you check, how, if they are seeing anything at all on their social media sites about salary and how they keep their and retain their employees. Sometimes companies will talk about that and they'll say what they get. I know I recently saw something that said Amazon workers were getting like $30 an hour, I believe,
Wow.
for Amazon delivery. And who knows, it could fluctuate and go up even more than that. So that's a pretty competitive business. And if you want to work for an organization like that, you check it out on social media. Or if you see that there's good workers out there working for a company like Amazon, and you want those kind of dedicated workers, you go check out their website, check out their social media, and see what they're doing to retain those people. So this gentleman that wrote this article, it's quite interesting because they went into, okay, what is I want in my business that somebody else has in theirs? And they went and they checked this out over and over through social media. Like I said, available to them. In your business, I guess, in your business, see that realtors, we're looking at other realtors. Obviously, you're part of an association. And do you have like your fellow, I should say, peers that ask you sometimes, what is it that you're doing that's good? Or what's working for you, or what isn't working for you? I mean, are you open with that kind of conversation?
Definitely, because when I first started real estate,
I would do that. I would ask people for help.
so they paid it forward. So it's kind of like the infinity. They help me, I help others, and we learn from each other, and we go to classes, because what changes in our business is technology. So now we have ChatGPT, which is artificial intelligence. So we learn from it. That's how we learn, is just and grow professionally and personally by helping each other,
Right.
And I heard when I first got in the business it was cutthroat, but I don't feel like it is.
You see a healthy
community. Yeah, just because we're at different companies doesn't mean we're on different teams. We're all one big real estate family.
Mm-hmm. And you think about that, if we all help each other out in life generally, you help me, I help you, we're all going to succeed. And we'll all have kind of, I call a piece of the pie. I'm involved with nonprofits that way too. So anyway, that's a little bit of news I want to talk about that I've seen here out there, because this is getting, we're getting to a point in society, I believe, because we're so focused on our job, our work. Our work. So within that focus, if we can look at some of the positives of it, where we can share things, yes, there's competition, Yes, people may decide they don't want to work at this business anymore. They'll go somewhere else. Reasons from benefits to, and I'm seeing a lot of times right now, and you may too, is that people want more time off
Or they
from
want to
their
work
job.
from home.
Right.
They want to work from home, and that's not always doable.
In some
Yeah.
industries, it isn't.
Right.
It isn't. I know it just won't work that way. Son. I see some of the businesses actually are trying to recall and bring people back
Yes.
into the offices
Mhm.
because they need them there. They need them there, and it's not because they want to keep an eye on them, but it's because they really do. Many times when you're in a corporate culture or you're in a office, you have a different feel about
Doing that day when you're working for that.
business.
Yeah, and you can accomplish more, and you can collaborate, and you can get ideas off each other, and it's really hard if the person's at home and you're in the office, and it's not the same feel.
Right. Yeah, just right. Especially if somebody in your business, if somebody wants to come into your office and sit down and talk to you, but
You're remotely saying, well, you
they can't come in and see me. I'm at home. They need to be in an office, like you say.
Mhm.
And I believe, and I think you work and you have another associate, so I'm sure you have people come into your office
Yes.
and want to see you.
So that's real important right there too when you're conducting business nowadays. Any other? Do you have any other news that you know going on in Las Vegas that you wanted to talk about, or?
There's a lot going on here, and what I've noticed recently is just the amount of homeless people and all because you were talking about nonprofit, and there's so many
Of these places that actually need volunteers, and I think
there's a lot of people that are at home, and you have the Las Vegas Rescue Mission. There's I was there last week, and we served 420 meals. That's like 420 people that didn't have to go hungry that day. So we have a
real big need for
volunteers. So if people need something to do, there's plenty of organizations. Ronald McDonald House is another one that's good, and it's actually a fun gig. You can go in there and you buy food and you bring it in there and you cook it
for the families after they get home from visiting their kids there in the hospital, and you serve them a home cooked meal right there.
So there's a lot to do for the community here.
Right.
Also.
There is.
I know
Big
personally
need for volunteers.
they do, and please check them out. I know there's a well-known organization that I
personally helped out with every once in a while. It's called 3 Square.
Yep,
With the meals, there.
Yes.
I do sadly see, because of what's going on here with some of the reduction of SNAP benefits coming up, that they're going to be inundated with people that need just to eat a meal every day. Don't want to see that, but anyway. Volunteer, yes.
Yes.
Please. I know I volunteer and have done it. This is kind of unusual. I've been doing it for years, and people will always say, Patrick, that's a little different, isn't it? Volunteer for hospice.
Yeah.
I came to a long time ago, and I know we're going to talk about this sometime on this show as kind of our spirituality side of things.
Right.
And the hospice program volunteer work. What I do is provide respite care so that the loved one can go out and shop or get away from
the whole situation that's going on up there, the stress that's going on. I find it really refreshing to be able to sit, because what happens is when these people are coherent and they're talking and they want to talk to somebody, holding their hand and hearing life stories from these people about what they've done and what they did and what they did in their lives, and they just want somebody to listen to them. And it's brought tears to my eyes, because I can't write this down, can't take that information away. It's kind of a privacy, confidential thing. But what I have up here from what people have told me when giving respite care at hospice, you can't make it up some of the stories from people. So anyway, we say that thank you so much. And if you're once again want to get involved in various community events, Michelle's talked about them. I talk about them. There's quite a few organizations out there that you can contact. And we here at Social Media Shows Network, we are also heavily into supporting nonprofits.
We've got a number of them that we work with. We had a gentleman on here a couple of shows ago, and he's involved with keeping the community clean. But he also helps feed the hungry.
So there's a lot of ways that you can get involved. These are people that are involved with social media networks here. So please let us know. Contact us, and we'll get you more information on that. Once again, Rise and Shine. We're going to take a little break here and come back because we have a very unique special segment coming up your way. Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
I can already feel you judging me, and not for what I've done in the past, but for what I'm about to do. I had what mattered, and I got careless. Like, I don't deserve more. I don't deserve sympathy. I don't deserve to be here.
Where the hell are you? Why aren't you answering your phone?
Jenna! What is the matter with you?
Someone once told me, you may not be everybody's cup of tea, but you're somebody's shot of whiskey.
Excuse me, ma'am. My car ran out of gas and I left my wallet at home. Could you please spare a couple dollars so I can refuel my vehicle?
I literally have nothing.
What's it gonna take to get you to join the program?
Get about a dog! If Jesus wanted you to have a dog, he would have blessed you with a bowl and a leash now, wouldn't he?
Social Media Shows is a production company based here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We offer these services. We've been streaming shows live in real time for over 4 years on major social media platforms and also on our website socialmediashows.com. And we are now on Roku TV. We welcome you to have your own show on our TV network. Call us 651-955-8743 or email us at admin@socialmediashows.com.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Good morning, Las Vegas, and welcome back to Rise and Shine. We have something very special for you today. First of all, let me also introduce myself as Patrick Frase, Mr. Shine, but we have a new Miss Rise. Yes, Michelle Kubiak, and we're going to talk about her in just a moment because we are going to talk about what she does in her profession, and she is a sponsor of this program too. So just as you watch this, folks, you're going to learn a lot because she's going to be on weekly, but you're also going to understand if you want to be a sponsor, this is the kind of highlights you're going to get, the spotlight you're going to get. So anyway, Michelle is going to bring in a new segment, and we're very happy to have her here doing this. It's going to be called MK's Real Estate Moments. And here it is. Yes, Michelle, please. Thank you. And let's talk about this. What's going on here?
Yes.
So important, your profession, and how you're making a huge difference in our community right now.
Right. I think that anybody that has real estate as their career and it's their passion, we do make a difference, you know. And it is my passion. You know, I've done it for 22 years. My name is Michelle Kubiak with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and the reason I chose MK's Real Estate Moments is because my last name is hard to pronounce for some people, and I figure MK would be easier. But yeah, real estate is ever changing, you know, and people get afraid to buy or want to wait to sell at the top of the market, which you can never time the very top of the market, and you can never time the very bottom of the market. So now we're seeing, as you know, those banks, you know, Silicon Valley Bank closed, and that kind of pushed the people into fear a little bit. Like what's going to happen with the real estate market? That's always a question people ask me. What do you think is going to happen with the interest rates? What's going to happen with the market? Are the prices going to come down? And what I was told when I first got in the business in 2001 is we don't have a crystal ball exactly what's going to happen. But everybody needs a house to live in, right? And so if you are out there thinking of buying and are worried about the interest rates, I check them every single day. And they go up and down. They've been going up and down. And after the banks closed last week, we actually saw interest rates go down 2 days in a row. They didn't go under 6%, which is what we're hoping for. There is a saying out there, marry the house, date the rate. I don't know that I really believe in that.
Yeah.
I think that just don't overbuy when you're buying a house. Like I tell my clients, you know, you don't want to be house poor. You want to be able to still live and enjoy your home, because if you're stressed out about how you're going to make this mortgage payment, then, you know, don't buy just too high. If you're pre-approved for $450,000, that doesn't mean you have to spend $450,000. It doesn't make that difference to me, and like I want my clients comfortable, you know,
Well,
with their payment.
let's just stop right there, Mo, because I'll tell you, you have my mind just spinning on here. Folks, if you just heard about what this professional lady's talked about, she's on top of the industry. She's very smart. Let's bring it over to here. All those factors, you really have no control over. The banks, the rates, the feds, but what you do have a control is choosing the right realtor.
Right.
And see what you've done. She's brought the personal feeling of what it means to be your realtor. She is your personal realtor, and then you bring all that knowledge in with it. So that's how the relationship starts.
Right.
I can see it right now.
Right.
How you are. How many years have you been a realtor?
I started in 2001.
Okay.
I had another job for 6 months when I first got into real estate until I got enough deals in escrow. So I've been doing it full time since 2001.
Okay, so see,
So I've been
look
through
right
the
here.
up, down,
Yes.
sideways.
Yeah, she's paid the dues, folks.
Yeah.
She's done the professionalism. And I know that you have to constantly do CEUs and stay on top of this, monthly, yearly, everything. So here we go. We've got a realtor who is a personal person, a real person that goes through all this. And look at all the knowledge she explained about just a few moments ago. But she's personal first.
Right.
And that's what makes a good realtor as far as I am concerned. And I still know so many other people, because I have seen people who they're concerned because they know the industry, but are they concerned because they don't want to get to know you? And that's the part that's really important.
Well, and they think, I know general public, we used to be right down there ranked with car salespeople, because they, you know, we drive nice cars. Mainly for me, it's because I'm in my car so much. You know, my car is my office, I have an office, but, you know, I mean, I don't go out there and just push somebody into buying a house. I don't believe in that. I believe that customer service, if they like the house, they're going to tell me that's what they want to offer us, you know? Not like, you don't push people people into doing something that they don't want to do. At least I know I don't. You know, I'm not pushy. I'm not salesy. I don't believe in that. And that, you know, there's something on my heart that I want to talk about. Like Patrick and I were talking about before the show. I was telling him how this family that the parents had passed away and now they're in probate. And so, like, if you're out there and you just bought a home or you own an existing home, definitely get a trust put on your property so that your heirs or your husband, wife, kids don't have to go through the process and lose the money of having to pay an attorney for the probate process. That could just get ugly and expensive and stressful, where if you own a home and you get a trust on it, everything is laid out. Like when I first got 2001, I got in real estate and I did my first probate deal in 2001, and I made sure my parents had a trust on their home. You know, I'm like, Mom, you have to do this, you know, like I learned and I teach and I learned and I teach, and whoever needs to hear that information, and hopefully it's somebody out there today that just bought a house and didn't know this. You know, there's so many things, you know, that you can do after you buy the house, and you know, the trust is one, getting a homestead and so forth. So there's so much information that you can't get from, like if you're buying from an online company where you don't have a real person standing in front of you or sitting in front of you explaining these things.
Well, you hit a major amount of bullet points. And these are the things that we're going to cover each week. We're going to go on some of those bullet points and stress on some of them.
Yeah.
And one of the most important ones that you just brought up, and we're going to keep talking about it, is trust.
Right.
I think weekly people need to be reminded of that. Why set up, you know, why set up anything if you don't know what's going to happen if something happens to it? So that's kind of like, okay, be prepared right away with the dangers of, if it went down, okay, how's it going to be dealt with? Even before you put the building up, kind of thing. I mean, and that's what needs to be talked about. So we're going to talk about subjects like that very much every week. I think that needs to be talked about.
Right.
I mean, all the time, trust. And trust has many different meanings.
Right.
Yeah, and you got to trust your realtor.
And you have to get a trust on your house.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're 20 years old and just bought a house, I would still get a trust.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that again.
Yeah.
So and some of the other subjects that you talked about. What is it? You talked about what you did with the trust, and you have a heart, obviously, for this. What is it that makes you happy? What's the happiest moment you have? What is it? I'll let you.
Well, you know, because we talked about this before the show, like, my happiest moment in my career is handing over keys to a new first-time buyer or any buyer, you know, because we're with you through the entire process. And escrow timeframes, which escrow means the closing once you go under contract. So it's about a 30-day process, sometimes 45 days. So we're talking a lot, we're emailing a lot, we're texting a lot during that whole process. So at the end of the process, when I get to hand the keys over, that is a gift. And so is it when I'm selling somebody's house, because we work with buyers and we put our sign in the yard, and, you know, and moving a seller out of their home. Sometimes it's into assisted living. Sometimes it's a different state, you know, and so all of it's great. But handing over the keys, I cry every time. I tried so hard the last house. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to cry. But it's just, it's an experience, you know, because the buyers are crying. So I'm going to cry with them, you know, not that I plan it, but it is a happy moment, you know.
Very good. And to see, I even more so, too, to see a child go into a room and say, Mommy and Daddy, that's my bedroom now. You know, when you see that, that just must explode your heart.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, when people bring their kids with them, and especially the little ones, I'll never forget this little boy. Every house we went to, he goes, oh, where's the lockbox? you know, and I'd have them help me open the lockbox, be a part of, you know, and it is a lot of fun.
A future realtor.
Right, that's what I said, my assistant. I've had a couple assistants, and I'm working with the buyer now, and their son is Precious, and he says, I go, okay, and I say his name, I'm not going to say it because confidentiality. I said, okay, do your part, and he goes, just buy the house to his parents, you know, and I don't ever say that, you know, but this kid is hilarious, you know, so there are a lot of happy moments, you know.
And there's a lot of happy moments, but then there's a lot of dedication on your part, which means that you work 7 days a week. I mean, you're out there on a Saturday and a Sunday. That some people may be thinking Sunday, the day of rest. Well, that's probably when you probably had some good, maybe even some people that decided on a Sunday that they're going to buy that house. It might have been that day of the week that, you know, you've been working on Sunday with them. They're relaxed because during the week they've been working. Besides trying to decide how they want to buy a house, they're working at their jobs. And then on a Sunday you take them and they see that perfect house. It's that Sunday that did it, or you know, and so you're working. I mean, you're dedicated.
Well, it is one of the purchases you're going to make in your lifetime, and so we have to work with their schedule. You know, where say you go to the dentist, you have to go with the dentist schedule. But we have such a variety of occupations in Las Vegas where people are off on the weekends, or they're off during the week, or they're off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and so we have to go show homes after 5. You know, it just, there's such a variety of different situations. You know?
It's really true dedication. You really have to love a job, and I can empathize with you. Although I've been in sales, but the feeling that you have when you satisfy somebody's life with the most important purchase in their life, no doubt about it. So, yes, once again, we have MK here, and how do we get a hold of you, MK? How do we get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me at 702-683-6576. You can call or text that number. It goes right to me. You deal directly with me. So again, my phone number is 702-683-6576.
Very good, very good. So, anyway, let's talk about one more subject in your business, and that is when you first sit down with somebody. Have you ever talked to them and said, you know, maybe they have family members or they're elderly, where you kind of try to help teach them, maybe this is the kind of home that you may want or the condo you want, rather than going, we want a 7-story. Do you do any advisement that way, where you try to put the realism with these people? Do you ever do that, or is it just you let people decide what they want? I mean, how do you balance that? It's kind of a tricky situation sometimes, I'm sure. But.
Well, I listen to what they need, because when I first got into real estate, I asked people why they didn't like their realtor and so forth, because, you know, when you're a realtor, you hear all the stories of what happened before, and I'll never forget this person that said, my previous realtor didn't listen to what I wanted, and so ding, 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 you know, I learned from those things, from people's past experiences. So I listen to what they want, and then I show them, okay, so we're going to have to adjust your criteria, because I sit them down where on what I do in the MLS, every criteria
multiple
that they
listing
ask
services,
for,
yes.
Every criteria they ask for, and say 0 homes came up. And it shows that there's nothing available in that criteria. Well, what can we do to adjust that? Can we go up on price? 1 bedroom down? I mean, I'm a problem solver. You know, I help solve the problem and guide them and listen, because that was the best advice I ever got, was listen, you know, so.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the listing realtor.
The listening, trustful.
Yes. Listening, trust. Oh, we could go on with this. See, we have a little fun here on Rise and Shine. Anyway, once again, we have just a few minutes left. Once again, how can people get a hold of you? And we'll talk about this weekly, but if they want to, they like what they saw already. How do they contact you again?
You can contact me at 702-683-6576. That is 7 days a week to call or text me. Happy to help.
Right, and she's going to be on the show weekly now, especially as our co-host. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
But we love you, Maria.
Yes, we do.
Maria's behind the camera working hard.
With a big smile on
yes,
her
she
face.
is. She is. She's happy.
In her zone.
She knows how to do all that technical stuff. Oh, wow. And but also let you know, Michelle is a sponsor of Social Media Shows Network. You can do that too, folks. We have a multitude of different programming here, and you, by contacting us, maybe there's something that you want to talk about or something that you want to show that you're really good at a business. Please contact us because we're looking for you as a sponsor to be part of our programming here. So we really appreciate what.
Yes, and the sponsorship isn't that expensive, so really reach out to Maria because she has some good options for you, and you get to be featured. So it is worth every penny. So if you have a little, and it's not expensive, just leave it at that. Give her a call.
Yeah, and you're hearing that from a realtor too.
Yeah.
Well, co-host, but also she knows. Okay. Anyway, we're so glad that you joined us here this week. It's been really a good event. Bringing you on for the first time.
Right.
I could feel that. See, look at that. The newbie's worn off. She's got it down, folks, and she's going to be here next week with myself, Patrick Frase. We really love enjoying our time with you, and this show is about. We're going to get on some subjects that are professional and some of the news, but we also like to have some fun banter back and forth, and we'll throw some fun at you continually too. So anyway, we appreciate you joining us here today on Rise and Shine. And so with that, what should we say? Well,
if you have any questions or you want us to feature anything, you can leave it in the comments. Especially for me, because if there's questions you have about real estate, I'm happy to answer them, and we'll get the comments, and I'll feature that next week.
Yes, and with that, we're going to say from Mr. Shine, have a great week, farewell, and keep smiling out there.
Yeah, have a great day, and go out there and shine yourself.
Thank you, folks. See you next week. Enjoy.